Hi, I'm Dave Robson. Welcome back. I'm lead coach here at LifeSource Leadership, a strategic focus of LifeSource coaches. We are in part 2 of a series that I'm calling LeaderSHIFT. The felt need underneath this arises out of a reflection of my own seasons in the past, as well as some of the leaders that I'm working with today, in that we need to quit focusing on trying to grow our organizations. We need to quit trying to grow our organizations, because organizational growth is a byproduct of three things, I believe, three leader shifts that we need to embrace. And last week we talked about this first one, which is growing yourself. Leaders, you need to grow yourself, because the speed of the leader determines the speed of the team and the organization. So check that out from last week. Grow yourself. Second leader shift that we need to embrace is we need to grow people. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to add value in the law of appreciation. And appreciation is a two-sided coin, not just out of gratitude for what people give us and what they contribute, but adding value to their lives. Because any organization is about growing people, whether it's our customers and clients and consumers, or whether that's the people within our team, or whether that's our shareholders, or the people in the community that are impacted by the work that we do. So we need to grow people, and we'll talk about that more in just a moment. And finally, what we're going to talk about next week is we need to grow leaders. We need to multiply ourselves, because just one person in their decision-making and capacity is not enough to create a movement and advance a mission to its greatest good. So today, we're going to focus on what I call a foundation of growing people, which is a shared calling. A shared calling. That means we need to help people assess and understand their calling, their passion in life, and how they've been shaped to make an ultimate contribution, so that their calling parallels the calling that we have as an organization, and together we share in advancing that. That means that we need to, one, help them understand what their calling is, how they are uniquely shaped, whether we are hiring people or promoting them from within, whether we're recruiting volunteers into a nonprofit organization or a church. We need to help them assess who they are and what they are called to in their ultimate contribution and their ultimate mission. Now, I'm sure you have some tools, leaders, that you have in your tool belt that you've used in the past. We have several that we've used over the last 30 years that help people understand how they are specially gifted, what their heartfelt passions are, what are their abilities and skills and competencies, what's their unique personality and how's that fit into a team, what is their education and their past experience, and how has that shaped and molded them for an ultimate contribution. That is part of their calling. We need to help them assess that as we bring them on board, or as we look to bring them on board and say, is this a good fit, as well as how do they fit in as part of the team. So secondly, is we need to take that calling, and we need to say, how do we set them into growth processes? How do we educate and equip them such that they're moving forward and developing those passions and those abilities? We need to train them not only in skills and competencies, which are no-brainers, but we need to help them develop EQ, the fullness of their being, emotionally, relationally. We need to give them communication skills and abilities. We need to help them understand what it means to work on a team and be part of a larger grouping of folks other than just what they do. Teach them collaboration skills, teach them conflict skills. Now notice I didn't say conflict resolution. That is something that we need to do, teach people how to resolve conflict, but engage in healthy conflict is part of a cohesive and a constructive team. So those are growth processes we need to help people do as well. And so we can come alongside of you leaders and your organization if you need to say, man, we need some assessment tools, or we need some growth processes that we can help people grow themselves, add value to them, help them appreciate the value of who they are, their calling, as well as how they contribute to the team. And then finally, we need to also have some strategic development plans for these people, especially emerging leaders. Us as established leaders, we know that we want to leave a transformational legacy. Emerging leaders want to say, man, I want to make a transformational impact. And so what is my development plan to getting to that place where I personally am experiencing that transformational influence and impact, not only as a person, but as a leader? And what are the tactics and the steps of that development? So we can help you develop and put together strategic plans that will help each person say, okay, here's the competencies, here's the character, here's the chemistry that I need to fulfill my calling and the shared calling of who we are as an organization on mission together. So that's how we advance our mission unto its greatest good. And we do that by growing people, and that produces the byproduct of a growing organization. Well, until then, I hope you're growing yourself well. I hope this is helpful for you to grow your people. And next week, we're going to talk about how to grow leaders.